Good afternoon, welcome to Vanik-Ias, and we will discuss current affairs of 18th March. First is that is PM Daksh scheme. Recently, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment has informed the Lok Sabha that the amount of funds are marked under PM Daksh, that is Pradhan Mantri Dakshata और कुशलता संपन्न हितग्राही. Daksh Pradhan Mantri Dakshata Kusalta Sampan Hitagrahi Yojana during 2021 and 2022 is 44.79 crores and 49.48 crores respectively. Earlier the ministry launched PM Daksh portal and PM Daksh mobile app to make skill development schemes accessible to target to special groups, that is scheduled caste, OBC, economically backward classes, denotified tribes and sanitation workers. Okay, so this is about PM Daksh scheme. And what is this PM Daksh scheme? It is regarding skill development. Why skill development is essential? At present, India has around 21 point, approximately there is 21% of people are skilled. Right? If you consider before 7 years, it was around 2 to 3% people were, hardly 2 to 3% people are skilled. So skill India mission has improved it from 2 to 3% to around 21% of India are now skilled. Why skilling is important? If you remember Gandhiji or his theory regarding the skill development, especially he has focused on vocational education. Why vocational education is essential? Because because of academic, because of educational qualification, we cannot provide jobs. That's why we need technical skills. And everybody is not intellectual that much of sound to become an academic professional or to acquire a white collar job. That's why we need to skill people. Skill people means if somebody is not able to qualify 10th exam, right? Or then we can make them able to how to, for example, welding, right? He can learn welding, and he can repair the mobile phones. He can repair the laptops. So these are skilling, right? So even a person do not, if so many, everybody has different capabilities. We should not judge everybody by their academic qualification. So skilling them is the most important thing, so that even if they fail to secure an academic degree, a sound academic degree, they can also earn their livelihood by various skills based on their interest. If somebody is interested to make furniture, then the skills need to be provided. So government is providing skills. In India, around 21% of people are skilled. If you consider South Korea, around 85% people are skilled, right, which is very high in number. And in US, it is more than 80%. So many developed countries have high level of skilled population, and because of that they earn their livelihood. So India is also going in that path to skill all its adult population one by one, and we have achieved around 21% of people are already skilled. Right, next, especially to another thing is that if you want to bring FDI, if you want to attract FDI, then that is one point is that how many people of your country are skilled. If more number of people are skilled, then obviously FDI will come to your country. That is a one type of point of attraction. Next, then what are the key points about it is being implemented from year 2020 and 2021? Under this, eligible target groups are provided with skill development training. Eligible target groups. Who are the eligible target groups? SCs, scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and OBC and economical weaker section, right? So earlier the Skill India mission was there. It was for overall population, those are interested to be skilled. But here it is especially focusing the SCs, STs, OBCs and economical weaker sections and sanitation workers. That means those people who belong to the lower strata of the society, they need to be focused so that they will work, right? They will take some skill and they will upgrade themselves, and they will, we can say that they will make a sustainable livelihood and increase their income level, right? Next, so target groups are provided with skill development training programs on the short-term training program. upskilling, reskilling. Even if they have some skills, they will get upskilled. They will get some more skill about that, so that their income level will rise. Next, entrepreneurship development program. How to develop entrepreneurship? We have Mudra scheme that will promote entrepreneurship. So even so if they can, having some skills, they can take a loan and they can invest themselves and become an entrepreneur and create employment. Then long-term training and long-term training program. So there is both short-term training program and long-term training program based on your priorities. Okay. These training programs are being implemented through the government training institutes. Government training institutes are implemented. These are implemented by government training institutes, that is the ITIs, sector skill councils that have been constituted by the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship and other credible institutions. So these trainings are provided by the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. What are the eligibility? Marginalized person of SCs, OBC, EBC, denotified tribes, sanitation workers, including waste pickers, manual scavengers, transgenders, and other similar categories. So that means all those people who belongs to the lower strata of the society, be them transgender. It's very good say that it's very good that transgenders are included, and it's one type of focusing on social inclusion, right? So transgenders are included to get the skills. Now they don't have to beg, or they will get social justice. Another one more thing there is that they will get social dignity, right? So it is a scheme that facilitates social inclusion. So here everybody can undergo a short-term skill training or long-term skill training. So this is the eligibility. So anybody can join. Next, implementation. How will be implemented? PM Docs. How it is implemented? It is implemented by the 3 corporations under ministry, that are National Scheduled Caste Finance and Development Corporation, NSFDC, National Backward Class Finance and Development Corporation, NBCFDC, and National Safai Karmacharis Finance and Development Corporation, NSKFDC. Sometimes they may ask prelim, which are the corporations that are implementing the PM Docs scheme? Then you will write such options, or if they will include National Commission for Scheduled Caste, then you will say it is no. So this is important. These three organizations, corporations are important, because last time they have asked regarding the corporation that is working for Mudra scheme, right? So this may be included in the prelims question. So it is implemented by these 3 corporations. Then status of skill development target groups. Skill development training has been imparted around 2,73,150 people and target groups in last 5 years. The targets during the year 2021-22 has been set to provide skill development to training approximately 50,000 people of the target groups through these 3 corporations. So around 50,000 people by PM Docs, they will be provided skill to SCs, STs, OBCs, and also the transgenders, the Safai Karmacharis. So those people who belong to the lower strata of the society. Okay, next. So these will be the implementing organizations. You must remember these 3 organizations for prelims, right? Next. What is the significance of the scheme? Minimal economic assets. Most of the person at the target groups have been minimal economic assets. Yes, they belongs to the weaker section of the society. So they have minimal economic assets. So and by that economic assets, they cannot afford themselves. Therefore, government is facilitating a skill development program. Otherwise, before it, few people were getting skilled. Though there are various private institutions as well. Anybody who has money, they can take in the training. But so as government is concerned, it is aggressively doing the skilling, because these societies do not have the money to fund for themselves to get a skill training. Okay, provision of the training and enhancing their competencies. Provision of training and enhancing their competencies and skills is essential for economic empowerment upliftment of these marginalized target groups, because these most of the people who are working in unorganized sectors. We have in India so many people are working in unorganized sectors. Around 85% of workforce are working in unorganized sectors. Unorganized sectors means those who do not have any social security schemes. So social security schemes, they are not getting social security, neither there is job security. So providing them a job security and with their minimal qualification is the only way that you can skill them. So these are those people who are belongs to lower, those who have low economic assets. Government is providing them PM-DOC scheme and providing them the training under PM-DOC and Skill India mission. Next, helps category in rural artisans. Many of the persons who are target groups belongs to the category of rural artisans who have become marginalized owing to the coming of better technological in the market. Yes, rural artisans, right? India is a home for, India is well known for its handicrafts. We once upon a time were dominating the world market so far as handicrafts is concerned, but because of the capitalism and industrialized products, now artisans are getting unemployed, and they are not able to compete with the market by their handmade products. So here their skill is need to be encouraged. So it is also encouraging the rural artisans, providing them higher level of skill to make good products that will be market competitive. Next, empowers women. Women due to overall domestic compulsions. Women due to overall domestic compulsions cannot be involved in wage employment, which normally involves long working hours. It's a social fact. And sometimes migration to other cities. There is a need to empower the women amongst the target groups. Right? It also focuses on women. Right? Basically, we have a labor force participation which is less than 20%. Less than 20% of people women are now working in formal sectors out of their houses, and we have to increase this labor force participation ratio. Right? Labor force participation ratio, LFPR. Once upon a time it was 26%, but in the last few years it has declined to less than 20%. We have to increase that LFPR. Why? Because all women, if they work, then if all women will work, then the GDP of the country will be raised around 25%. That's why we have to increase the labor force participation ratio, and we have to empower the women. And so basically they need to be provided skilled according to their choice, so that they can get employment in their local area. Right? Next, what are the initiatives related to skill development? Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. These are the various schemes. Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana 3.0. This was launched by Ministry of Skill and Development and Entrepreneurship in 2021 in a bid to empower India's youth with employable skills by making over 300 courses. Over 300 skill courses available them in various government organizations. Right? And under Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. The National Career Service Project launched in 2015. National Career Service Project to offer online career skills training to job seekers registered with National Career Service Project. National Career Service Project that will give online career training skills to job seekers registered with it. It is an initiative of the Ministry of Labour and Employment. Remember, this is very important. National Career Service Project is under Ministry of Labour and Employment. Many times in prelims questions they ask what is this scheme is launched by or worked by which ministry. You are majorly they will ask such question that you will be confused. So you have to remember that National Career Service Project, although it is a skilling program, it is not launched by the Ministry of Skill and Development, it is launched by Ministry of Labour and Employment. Next, skill acquisition and knowledge awareness for the livelihood, that is Sankalp scheme. Skill acquisition and knowledge awareness for livelihood, Sankalp scheme. It focuses on district level skilling ecosystem. District level skilling ecosystem, so convergence of coordination. It is a centrally sponsored scheme which is collaborated with the World Bank. What do you mean by centrally sponsored scheme? Centrally sponsored schemes are those schemes in where state is also contributing a certain amount. Centrally sectored schemes are those schemes where central government will fund whole the amount. So Sankalp scheme, it is both by the skill ministry and also the World Bank. Right? This will create district level skilling ecosystem. Then Kaushalacharya Awards launched to recognize the contribution made by skilled trainers to motivate more trainers to join the Skill India mission. This is for skilled trainers. Those who are training the skilled people, they will get an award, that is Kaushalacharya Awards. Then skilling scheme for higher education youth in apprenticeship and skills, Shreyas. Scheme for higher education youth in apprenticeship and skills. The scheme to provide industry apprenticeships opportunity to general graduates existing in April 2009 through National Apprenticeship Program schemes. NAPS, it was launched by Ministry of Education. Remember, scheme of higher education and youth entrepreneurship skills. It is conducted by Ministry of Education. Ministry of Education is conducting Shreya, that is providing apprenticeship opportunities. What do you mean by apprenticeship opportunities? That it will facilitate the persons who are learning to work in a organization or to work in a field, right, or in an industry for a certain period of time. That is called as apprenticeship time. If they work properly, then the company may wish to take them as their employee, right? This is apprenticeships. Scheme for higher education in youth apprenticeships and skills, that is Shreyas. Then Atmanirbhar skilled employer mapping, ASIM portal. It was launched by MSDE in 2020. It is a portal to help skilled people to find sustainable livelihood opportunities. Atmanirbhar skilled employer mapping, ASIM portal. This portal will help the skilled people to get some job opportunities or sustainable livelihoods. Okay, next. International relation. Next topic is leader of the Islamic world, that is regarding Saudi Arabia. What happened in Saudi Arabia? Saudi Arabia, historically, Saudi Arabia is a monarchy. Okay, recently what happened? Saudi Arabia is a mass executed. It has executed 81 people. Saudi Arabia recently executed 81 people, including 7 Yemenis and 1 Syrian national for crimes related to terrorism and other capital crimes. This has prompted Iranian government to suspend talks with the country, right? Okay, it is a issue of Middle East. What happened? There is a historical differences between the Saudi Arabia and Iran, right? Both countries are opposite to each other. Saudi Arabia is an ally of US and Iran, it is against US, and there is peace talks between both the countries to stabilize the Middle East. So Iranian government decided to suspend talks with the country because of execution of 81 people, right, which is huge, right? Okay, both countries have tense diplomatic relationships since a long time ago. It's two are big powers in the Middle East. Next, regional rivals Iran and Saudi Arabia, which severed diplomatic ties in 2016, launched direct talks hosted by Iraq in 2021. So Iran and Saudi Arabia, they have started diplomatic ties in 2016 and launched direct talks hosted by Iraq in 2021. As United Nations led efforts to end war in Yemen, they had held 4 rounds of talks in Iraq, right? So this point is important. So both the countries, they have started talks after 2016 and they have established diplomatic relationship in 2021. They started talks and already 4 rounds of talks are already completed. But because of this step, that is execution of 81 people by Saudi Arabia, now Iran is deciding that I am not going to participate in the talks. Okay, next. What is the background of Saudi Arabia and Iran conflict? Religious factionalism. What is this religious factionalism? Relations between Saudi Arabia and Iran have been sourced in part because of religious differences which back to the centuries. They follow one of the 2 main branches of Islam. Iran is logically Shia Muslim. Remember, Iran is basically Shia Muslim, while as Saudi Arabia sees itself as a leading Sunni Muslim countries. There are differences between the Shia and Sunni in the Middle East, and both are fighting against each other, right? So Iran is Shia Muslim and Saudi Arabia is Sunni Muslim. Your ISI is Syria is also Sunni Muslim, right? There is a continuous fight between the Shias and Sunni Muslims in the Middle East. Revolution in Iran, which created a new type of state in the region, a kind of revolutionary theocracy that had explicit goal to exporting this model beyond its borders. Exporting this model, that is based on Shia Muslim ideology, Iran wants to play a large role in the Middle East. Next, Cold War. The Saudi Arabia and Iran, 2 powerful neighbors, are locked in fierce struggle for regional dominance, right? Okay, they have many times they have struggles Uprising in the Arab world after the Arab Spring 2021. Arab Spring means a forceful establishment of democracy by the Western countries, by USA, forceful establishment of democracy. That is called as Arab Spring, and because of that there is also various conflicts between the both countries. So uprising in the Arab world causes political instability throughout the region. Next, Iran and Saudi Arabia exploited these upheavals to expand their influence, notably in Syria, Bahrain and Yemen, further highlighting the mutual suspicions. So both countries wanted to influence Syria, Bahrain and Yemen. These are the three countries. So it is almost even both countries are fighting in entire Middle East. Moreover, external powers like US and Israel have major role in exacerbating the conflict between Saudi Arabia and Iran. US and Israel, right? Israel is the partner of US in the Middle East, and it is against the whole Arab world. They have played a significant role to instigate the differences between Iran and Saudi Arabia. Next, proxy war. It's a common. Why there is proxy war? Because countries cannot fight directly to each other, right? When two countries cannot fight directly with each other, what they will do? They will create some terrorism, that is sponsored state sponsored terrorism, like India, like Pakistan. Pakistan cannot fight a direct war with India, right? It cannot fight a direct conventional war with India. That's why it has some proxies, it has some terrorists, right? So that it can apply the terrorists because it cannot fight directly with India in conventional war system. So proxy war, it's a common format, it is a common style in Middle East areas. All the countries, all the Middle Eastern countries, they have different terrorist organizations. They have nurtured them, right? Every state. For example, if Iran is doing certain things and Saudi Arabia do not like it, they will use some terrorist organizations to create a terror. Similarly, the same thing will be done by Iran. So here, Iran and Saudi Arabia are not directly fighting. They are not directly fighting, but are engaged in variety of proxy wars, that is conflicts whereby they support rival sides in militias. They support rival sides and militias around the region. For example, Houthi rebels in Yemen. Houthi rebels in Yemen. These groups can acquire greater capabilities which can cause further instability in the region. Saudi Arabia accuses Iran supporting them. Saudi Arabia accuses Iran supporting the Houthis in Yemen. Next, 2016 plus point, many Iranian posters attacked Saudi diplomatic missions in the Iran following Saudi Arabia's execution of Shiite Muslim cleric Sheikh Nimr al-Nimr. It was executed by Saudi Arabia, and that creates further tension between Iran and Saudi Arabia. Okay. So here we know that both countries are engaged in proxy war with each other, and because of certain actions by Saudi Arabia, like killing the Shiite Muslim cleric. Because Saudi Arabia is a Sunni country. I have said Saudi Arabia is a country who is facilitating Sunni Islam, and Iran belongs to Shia Islam. So killing Shia cleric is by Saudi Arabia, it generated further tension between Saudi Arabia and the Iran. Next, what can be the possible impact on normalization of relationship? Resolution of Israel-Palestine conflict is a long-term conflict in the Middle East. Israel and Palestine, it's a long-term conflict between the Middle East. Warming the relations between Iran and Saudi Arabia may have positive impact in dealing with Israel and the Palestine issue. So if that is solved, because so many countries are getting involved here, Israel and Palestine conflict, and Palestine is a region of it is very important for Jews, very important for the Islam, so there is a big issue. So if that is solved, that will positive impact on dealing with that will solve also. It will bring it will be ideal deal, and that will facilitate the solution of the dispute between Iran and Saudi Arabia. Then stabilization of oil market. Iran and Saudi Arabia have a common interest for stable and oil prices. Both want stable oil prices because of their economic development. Given the importance of the market to share economies, normalization of the relations would ensure steady normalization of relationship between Iran and Saudi Arabia will ensure steady oil revenues, because the geographical position of Iran, the geographical position of the Iran in the ocean is also very important, right? It has few months ago Iran has blasted a oil ship, right? So they want normalization relationship with both countries because that will ensure their economic development. Both countries, Saudi Arabia and Iran, if their relationship becomes normal, then both countries will get benefit from stable economics, stable oil prices. Okay, next, way forward. Role of India. Historically, India has good diplomatic relationship with both the countries. Stabilization of relationship between two countries impact India in a mixed way. On the negative side, higher oil prices will affect the balance of the trade within India. Right? If prices of oil increases, then that will affect balance of trade. Imports will share of import will increase as compared to exports. On the positive side, this could provide easing of investments, connectivity and projects across the region. Easing of investment connectivity because India is developing Chawar part of port of Iran, so that will increase, that will facilitate trade in Middle East. Reciprocity by Iran. Iran still needs to make mark in its diplomatic efforts by publicly supporting ceasefire in Yemen. Right? It has to do that. Iran has to declare publicly that it is supporting the ceasefire. It do not want violence, first of all. Then easing the US sanctions. Clarity on US sanctions over Iran is prime importance if Iran and Saudi Arabia relations are to get normalized. Clarity on US sanctions over Iran is the prime importance, and Iran and Saudi Arabia relations are get to be normalized. So you have to easing US sanctions. US cannot impose sanctions because if US is imposing sanctions, that means that Saudi Arabia is supporting it. It is that is to please Saudi Arabia because Saudi Arabia is the ally of US, right? So it is essential that US ease those sanctions against Iran to bring peace in Middle East. Okay, next topic is related to environment. Environment, that is Project Dolphin. What is this Project Dolphin? Recently, Ministry of Jal Shakti expressed its displeasure over the slow pace of the approval process of Project Dolphin. What is the Project Dolphin? It is an initiative got in principal approval in 2019 at the first meeting of the National Ganga Council. Headed by the Prime Minister. Project Dolphin is one of the activities planned under the Earth Ganga, an ambitious interministerial initiative of the government approved in 2019. Project Dolphin will be on the lines of Project Tiger. We have Project Tiger that is very successful in improving the numbers of tigers in India, right, at present. So initiative got principal approval in 2019 and first meeting National Ganga Council headed by Prime Minister. Yes, remember this is headed by Prime Minister. The Project Dolphin is activities planned under Earth Ganga, an ambitious interministerial initiative by government approved in 2019. Project Dolphin will be the lines of Project Tiger, right? Project Tiger, it will help to increase the dolphin population, right? Next. It is expected to implemented by Ministry of Environment. It is at present it is implemented by the Ministry of Jal Shakti. Remember, at present it is implemented. Project Dolphin is implemented by Ministry of Jal Shakti, but it is expected to be implemented by Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change. Then a special conservation program needs to be taken up by Gagatic dolphin, right? It is national aquatic animal. Remember, which is a national aquatic animal and indicator species for the river. National aquatic animal indicator species. What do you mean by indicator species? If indicator species means if that species in a particular habitat, that means if any changes happens in that particular habitat, we can see there is changes in the behavior of the indicator species, right? For example, frog is an indicator species. So if Gagatic dolphins are dying, then that means the habitat is changing or the environment is changing. So we can observe, we can talk about we can we can talk about the aquatic environment just by observing the Gagatic dolphin as it is an indicator species. Indicator species for a microorganism or a plant that serves as a measure of environmental conditions that exist in a global. Right? It is a measure of environmental conditions. As Gagatic dolphin is at the top of the world, top of the food chain. Gagatic dolphin is at the top of the food chain, protecting the species, and its habitat will ensure conservation of the aquatic animals in the river. It's a top of the food chain, and any organism who is at the top of the food chain is very important, right? For example, tiger, it is very important. So similarly, Gagatic dolphin, it is very important so far as the aquatic environment is concerned. So far, the National Mission for Clean Ganga, NMCG, which is implemented by the government flagship scheme Namami Gange, has been taking some initiatives for saving dolphins. Also, National Mission for Clean Ganga is taking some steps to save the dolphins. Next, what is the global experience? The Rhine Action Plan 1987 in the International Commission for the Protection of Rhine, representing Switzerland, France, Germany, Luxembourg and the Netherlands, help conservation of the salmon fish, also known as indicator species. That means if certain actions are taken by the schemes to save a particular species in a particular habitat, then they are conserved. Like we have successfully launched the Project Tiger that has successfully increased the number of tigers in India. Similarly, if you take some steps to conserve the dolphins, because dolphin numbers are declining. Why they are declining? Because of various anthropogenic activities like waterways, or also your pollution, and also increasing concentration of wastages or sewage in the water. Their life is threatened. So if it can take steps, we can also increase the dolphins. We can also increase the number of Gagatic dolphins. Okay. Next, what are the key points related to Gagatic dolphin? Scientific name, it is Platanista gangetica gangetica. Remember, Platanista gangetica gangetica. Sometimes they ask some biological names, right? These biological names sometimes they ask, and some people, some students think that they are asking two factual questions that are related to biology, which is not in their syllabus. But let me tell you that as it is those organisms which are in news, you must remember their biological name. Here it is Platanista gangetica gangetica. Discovery, it was officially discovered in 1801. Habitat, they live in the Ganges, Brahmaputra, Meghna and Karnafuli Sanghu rivers in Nepal, India and Bangladesh. Ganga, Brahmaputra basin, Meghna basin, they in these river systems, Gagatic dolphin lives. The Ganges river dolphin can only live in fresh water. It can only live in fresh water. They may ask its properties, and essentially blind. It is essentially blind. They hunt by emitting ultrasonic sound. They hunt by emitting ultrasonic sound, which is bounces of fish and other prey, enabling them to see an image in their mind. They are also called as susu. Remember their name, they are also called as susu. Let's know their one more of their properties. They are also called as susu, Gagatic dolphins, and they hunt by emitting ultrasonic sounds. They are essentially blind. They live in fresh waters. Population, the global population of the species is estimated as 4,000. Nearly 80% found in Indian subcontinent. That's why if we neglect, then this species will be critically endangered. Then it is our responsibility to protect it. Significance, it is a reliable indicator of the health of the entire river ecosystem. Reliable indicator, it is an indicator species, right? It is an indicator species. If they ask a question, which of the following are indicator species? For example, your lichens or your frog or your Gagatic dolphin, all of the three are indicator species. Okay, next, threats. What are the threats? One is bycatch. Bycatch. These dolphins and people both favor areas of the river where fish are plentiful and water current is slower. This has led to fewer fish for the people and more dolphins dying as a result of accidentally being caught by fishing nets, also known as bycatch. By fishing nets, they are caught accidentally and they die. That's the problem. Pollution. Industrial Agricultural human pollution is another serious cause of habitat. Industrial, agricultural and human pollution is another serious cause of habitat degradation. Dams, construction of dams and other irrigation related projects make them susceptible to inbreeding and more vulnerable to other threats because construction of dams and other irrigation related projects make them susceptible to inbreeding and other vulnerable to other threats because they cannot move new areas. If they move new areas, they will die. Dolphins below a dam threatened by heavy pollution, increased fishing activities, vessel traffic. These are encouraged. They increase when dam construction happens. They also have less food because dams disturb the migration, breeding cycles and habitat of fish and other prey. Right. So dams construction, pollution and by even catching fishes, fishing nets, all are threat to the population of Gangetic dolphin, which is called as which is blind, and it emerges who releases your ultrasonic sounds to catch the prey. Then what are the conservation status? Remember, this is very important. Indian Wildlife Protection Act Schedule 1, those animals which are in Schedule 1 are the most important. It is in Schedule 1. International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, endangered species, right? If we will not conserve them, then it will be extreme, it will be critically endangered, because 80% of population belongs to India only. Convention on International Trade and Endangered Species CITES, Appendix 1, that is most endangered. Then Convention on Migratory Species, CMS, Appendix 2, migratory species that need conservation and management or would significantly benefit from international cooperation. So based on this Schedule 1 for Indian Wildlife Protection Act, it is Appendix 2 of Conservation Migratory CMS and Appendix 1 of CITES. So all these agreements show that the importance of Gangetic dolphin. Okay, next, what are the steps taken? National Dolphin Research Center and NDRC is coming on the 4,400 square meter plot of land on the premises of Patna University for conservation of endangered Gagatic dolphin. Then Dolphin Sanctuary is in Vikramashila Ganges Dolphin Sanctuary. Remember, Vikramashila Ganges Dolphin Sanctuary, it is established in Bihar. Then National River Ganga Dolphin Day. National River Ganga Dolphin celebrates in 5th October. Clean Ganga celebrates 5th October as National River Ganga Dolphin Day. 5th October, they ask in OPSC, sometimes they ask prelims. 5th October is the National River Ganga Dolphin Day. Then conservation plan, the conservation action plan for the Ganges River Dolphin 2010, 2022, 2020, which identified threats the Gangetic dolphins and impact the river traffic, irrigation canals and depletion of prey based on dolphin population. Conservation of plan. So there are the steps taken by the government, that is National Dolphin Research Center, Dolphin Sanctuary, National River Ganga Dolphin Day, the steps taken by the government to conserve Gangetic dolphin. Then man-pads. The United States and North Atlantic Treaty Organization (NATO) are the shipping weapons into Ukraine, including high-sensitive items such as shoulder-fired missiles called as man-portable air defense system. Man-pads that can take down aircraft. Countries such as India, Pakistan, UK, Germany, or Israel have also used man-pads in the defense efforts. See these man-pads; they are used heavily against in Iran war also, right? It is they can a single man can also fire a aircraft and it can make it devastated. It can destroy it. That is man-pads. Now they are shipping to Ukraine, right? Okay, Russia by far is biggest exporter of man-pads. Russia has exported it to India also and various countries like including Iraq. It's said to Iraq, Qatar, Kazakhstan, Venezuela and Libya, and it has sold around 10,000 man-pads, right? Man-pads are the instruments in which a single man can fire and gun down a big aircraft or helicopter. Russia has also sold it. Russia is the largest solar of manpads. Okay, what are these manpads? These are short range, lightweight and portable surface to air missiles. They are surface to air missiles that can be fired by individuals or small groups to destroy aircraft and helicopters. They are surface to air missiles. They help shield troops from aerial attacks. Right? When the troops attack aerial attacks, they are the most effective targeting low flying aircrafts. Manpads or man-portable anti-tank systems work in a similar manner but used to destroy and incapacitate military tanks. Manpads have a maximum range of 8 kilometers that can engage targets at an altitude of 4.5 kilometers. The first manpad were introduced by United States and Soviet Union in 1960s. In 1960s, United States and Soviet Union, they have started manpads. Its range is 8 kilometers and it can go up to a altitude of 4.5 kilometers. They can shield troops from aerial attacks. Right? When air strikes happens, manpads can be used. Okay. Next, features. What are the features? Features are shoulder fired, lightweight. Right? So they can be shoulder fired, launched from the top of a ground vehicle, fired from a tripod or stand or from a helicopter or a boat. They are fairly lightweight compared to other elaborate weapon systems, making them easy to operate by individual soldiers. They weigh anywhere between 10 to 20 kilograms. They are not longer more than 1.8 meters. So hardly they are of this size and of 10 to 20 kilometers, and they can fire and gun down a helicopter. That is very lightweight. Then fire and forget guidance system. Fire and forget, that means once you fire it, you cannot control its movement, right? That's fire and forget. Especially the ballistic missiles. Ballistic missiles are mostly fire and forget. Once you fire them, you cannot control the movement, right? Here also it is fire and forget system. Most of the passive fire and forget guidance system, meaning that operator is not required to guide the missile to hit the target, enabling them to run and relocate immediately after their firing, right? They will relocate and they will reach the target after they are fired. Then infrared seekers, IR seekers. The missiles are fitted with infrared seekers that identify the targets, the airborne vehicles through heat radiation being emitted by the latter, right? As heat radiation is emitted by the helicopter, right, by the aircraft. So heat radiation means infrared rays. These manpads will identify the infrared rays and it will attack them. Okay, next. There is a movie that is Charlie Chaplin. You can see, there is a movie where which is in Afghanistan war they have shown it, right? You may see it. That movie is called as, sorry, I don't remember. That is based on Afghanistan and the Soviet Russian war, in which they have used manpads, and the Afghanistan common people or especially the Mujahidins, they have used this and fired back the Russians, and Russians left Afghanistan in 1979. So what are the common variants of these manpads? Stinger missiles, US Igla manpads, Sarstec Britain, RBS-70 manpad series, Sweden, next generation light anti-tank weapon for that is NLAW missiles, Javelin missiles, US and NATO. These are the common variants of manpads. Civilian attacks. What are the concerns? Civilian attack. In 2009, more than 60 civilian aircraft have been hit by manpads. That is the concerns, right? Then misutilizing, claiming the lives more than 1,000 civilians. Illicit use by non-state actors. Over the time, non-state actors such as rebel and terrorist groups are known to have illicitly acquired manpads, using them in civil wars and other high-intensity conflicts. Illegal weapon trade. Observers fear that sending lightweight ground-based manpads to Ukraine may contribute to intensifying the network of illegal weapon trade. Right? Sending lightweight ground-based manpads to Ukraine, they may contribute to intensifying the network of illegal weapons. So that may go to the non-state actors and we come to the all the democratic countries or sovereign countries, so that can be misused. So Let's discuss the questions. Which one of the following is a national aquatic animal of India? We have already discussed about Gagatic dolphin. It is called as susu. It is commonly called. It is a blind animal, and it has it is indicator species. It largely India has around 80% of Gagatic dolphins. They are present in Ganga, Brahmaputra rivers. This is Gagatic dolphin. C is the answer. They are in Schedule 1 of India's Wildlife Protection Act. There is also Appendix 1 of sites. There and that the endangered. It has endangered. It's not critically endangered. It is endangered. Then what is the terminal high altitude area defense? Third, it is an anti-American anti-missile. Yes, an American anti-missile system. Third missile. It will fight with S-400 missiles of the Russians. Right? It is, we can say both can fight each other. Third missile, that is terminal high altitude area defense of US, an American anti-missile system. Other than poaching, what are the possible reasons for the decline in the population of Ganges river dolphins? Decline of population of Ganges river dolphins. What are the reasons? Construction of dam and barrages in the rivers. Yes, it is one of the potential threat. Increase the population of crocodiles. No. Crocodiles, that will increase biological diversity. That can never be reasons, right? Because both are aquatic animals, and if one is their aquatic animals, they will increase the biodiversity of the aquatic animals. They can never become a threat, right? Next, getting trapped in fishing nets accidentally. Yes, this is a possible cause. We have already discussed. Then use of synthetic fertilizers and other agricultural chemicals in crop fields is a vicinity of rivers. Yes, that causes marine pollution. So marine pollution, construction of dams, and also the fishing net are three threats to Gangatic river dolphin. So this is 1, 3 and 4 only. This is the right answer. Which the following is a national aquatic animal? We have already discussed. Then Pradhan Mantri Kausal Vikas Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Kausal Vikas Yojana, which of the following consider the following statements? It is a flagship scheme of Ministry of Labour and Employment. Flagship scheme of Ministry of Labour and Employment. It among others will also impart training in soft skill, entrepreneurship, financial and digital literacy. See, it is not under Ministry of Labour and Employment. It is under Ministry of Skill Development. So this is wrong. First option is wrong. Then it is among other things, it will impart training and soft skill. Obviously, it will impart training and soft skill, entrepreneurship, financial, digital literacy. It aims to align competencies of unregulated workforce. Yes, those belongs to lower strata of society, especially the transgenders, the safai karmacharis, and also the manual laborers. They can undergo this skill training, that is in National Skill Qualification Framework. So both the two options are right. 2 and 3 options are right. So here the lectures end, and hope you like this video and like this video, share this video and subscribe to Vanik-Ias. Encourage us to continue this program. Thank you.